Hello, good afternoon. This is Carla Metzdorf. I am going live today and I'm just going over to my group, just trying to get everybody to go live in my group. It's not giving me the option to go live. That's kind of strange. Why can't I go live? Oh boy. This is driving me crazy. Okay, so I'm going to have to go live in the group this way. Let me see if I can find my live training in the group. Hi, good afternoon. Hello, I'm live in the group and I'm live on Facebook. Okay. And I'm live on YouTube. All right. I finally got it going. Good afternoon, ladies, and Happy New Year. This is Carla Metzdorf. I am admin to the group Overcoming Anxiety for Anxious Moms Who've Had Enough, and I'm also an anxiety coach. And I'm going live today to talk to you about what makes overcoming anxiety hard. What makes it so hard to overcome anxiety? Well, first of all, I can tell you what makes overcoming anxiety really hard. Number one is your mindset. And just to give you an idea of what your mindset is, your mindset, okay, is your beliefs, your thoughts, your expectations. As you come on and say, hi, everybody, your assumptions. These are all part of your mindset. So when you go to overcome anxiety, when you start working on understanding what anxiety is and how to get it away from, how to, hi, Missy, how are you? And how to arise above it and get it out of your life, you're going to find that you're going to get these beliefs and thoughts that are going to keep you from making progress. So your mindset has a lot to do with it, because your mindset, as I said, are your beliefs. So what are you believing? What are you telling yourself? Do you believe it's even possible to overcome anxiety? If you don't believe it is, then how are you going to overcome anxiety? Because you're going to talk yourself out of it. Your thoughts and how you talk to yourself make a difference. What you tell yourself is going to make a difference. So, and also the expectations that you have to overcome anxiety. The things that, if you tell yourself, well, it's going to be just too hard. If you tell yourself it's going to be hard, if you have this expectation that it will be hard and that you're not going to be able to cope and handle it, then it's going to be hard. If you make the assumptions that you just don't have what it takes, that it's too hard and you can't cope, you can't deal, you can't handle it, it's going to be hard. The reason why I'm coming on to talk with you about this today is because originally I was going to make this all about New Year's resolutions, right? Because that's what we all do at the end of the year. We make these New Year's resolutions. But the one thing we know about resolutions is that so many people make them and they never keep them, right? We make these resolutions, and the biggest thing is always about exercise and losing weight, right? That's got to be like the biggest resolutions that are out there, right? So, but people are not good at keeping resolutions. So by, let's say, the second week of January, a lot of those resolutions you make you don't hold on to them. So I was wondering, the women in the group, their resolution is probably, it's a new year and I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to overcome anxiety. How many of you have told yourself that? How many of you have made that resolution? So when I was thinking about what my live was going to be about, I didn't want to make it just about resolutions. I wanted to talk about, why is it we don't keep resolutions, okay? Because I know most of the resolutions that you're all making is to overcome anxiety if you haven't already. But I want you to be able to keep that resolution because, as I said, a lot of the statistics say, hi, Piper, a lot of the statistics say that those who make resolutions are done by the second week of January. If not, you're done like by the first week of February. Hardly anybody keep their resolutions. And so what is the reason for all of that? Like, why can't we keep these promises we tell ourselves? Why do we set these goals and we just don't follow through? What makes them so hard? I keep going like this with hard because hard is different for everybody. Okay. Like I can say it's hard because of this reason. And you can say, well, no, that's not my reason. I think it's hard because of this reason. So we all have different definitions, but overcoming anxiety doesn't have to be hard. We make it hard. It's you versus you. So let's get into this about what is making it hard. And I started off with mindset, and mindset's a real thing. And if you're coming on late, you probably didn't hear me say your mindset has a lot to do with why you haven't overcome anxiety. Okay. Your mindset being your beliefs, the way you're thinking, your thoughts, your assumptions, and the expectations you have in life. Okay. This makes up your mindset. So changing your mindset so that it aligns with what you want to experience, getting your thoughts with what you want to experience is really going to be helpful to see more of what you want to overcome anxiety. But see, the thing is, what keeps you stuck in that anxiety cycle, a lot of you are stuck because you lack awareness. You lack awareness. Now, what do I mean by that? Awareness simply is just the knowledge. Do you understand anxiety? Do you know what anxiety is? And some of you are going to say, of course I do, because I've had it for 20, 30 years. How can I not know what it is? Well, I say that because if you really understood anxiety and knew what it was, I believe you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't be struggling with it. If you understood anxiety, you would know exactly how to rise above that anxiety and break free from the grips it has on you. If you understood how it all worked, how the mind and body worked, you would know exactly how to break free. So what makes it hard is the lack of awareness. And that's why I do these live trainings. I go in the group and I give these trainings. I'm trying to help you have awareness so that you can break free. So I'm going to give you some of that awareness right now. And hopefully it will help you to understand why anxiety has such a grip on you. So what is anxiety? Yes, it is an emotion, just like sadness, like anger, right? We all get sad, we all get angry. But why is it the other day we felt angry and then 2 hours later we were happy again? Why can't we do that with anxiety? Why are we anxious and then all of a sudden we're still anxious, and we're still anxious? Sorry, my phone is about to die. I didn't realize how low I was on battery. And why is it that 10, 20 years later, we're still anxious? Why? So why is it so hard? Okay. Well, anxiety is your response to the stress, to whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life. Okay. So you had some kind of happening in your life. Just stay with me here. You had something happen in your life. You worried about it. Okay. Um, and that worry, because worry is like, I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about this thing going on. I don't, I got to figure out what to do about it. So worry, the thing about worry is that, yeah, you're concerned, but you can take some kind of action. But see, anxiety involves more fear. When you have anxiety, it's that uncertainty. When you start telling yourself, I just can't cope, I can't deal, this is too much, this is too hard, I don't have what it takes. That's uncertainty. And that requires you want control of things that you just don't have control of. Okay. And that will bring you up. I have like an anxiety scale that I do where one is like low grade anxiety, like situational anxiety, 10 being like major panic attacks. The more emotion, the more fear you put to that anxiety, the higher you're going to go on the scale, that anxiety scale, right? So anxiety becomes hard because as you start feeling the anxiety, okay? So as let's say something's happening in your life, okay? Just pick something for an example, all right? Let's say your husband comes home and he asks you for a divorce, all right? That's something that's hard. Maybe you didn't see it coming, right? So now you're reacting to it. How am I going to cope with this? What am I going to do? I'm going to be alone. How am I going to support myself? How am I going to support the kids? How am I, the questions, the what ifs are going to go. This is more than worry here. This is you like wishing that you could control the situation. You don't have control. You can't control what you were just told, what's going to happen. You don't know what to do. You feel uncertain about the future and what's going to happen. So this brings on anxiety and things become hard, right? It's just the way you're responding. Now, the thing is, what this does is you have the vagus nerve in your body that is connected from the brain all the way into the stomach, into the abdomen, okay? It goes beyond the stomach into the abdomen. Now, your central nervous system, it's all part of the central nervous system. It works together. The brain, the body, they work together to help you survive. So you were just given bad news. You had a reaction. You start to feel anxious. Now, your body is trying to protect you. Your mind, your body are going to try to protect you. They're going to send chemicals into the body to get you to respond, to take some kind of action. But the thing is, you're not being chased by a lion or a tiger or a bear or anything like that. You were just given news that really upset you. So what happens is if you don't take action to deal with this news that you were just given, what happens is we start focusing on how we feel and the thoughts that are accompanying the emotion and how we feel, if that makes sense. Is any of this making sense, ladies? As you come on and you're listening and I'm talking, if you need any clarification, if you need for me to say something differently, please let me know, okay? Because I want to make sure that what I'm saying is making sense, okay? So as I come on, okay, thank you, Piper, for that confirmation. Thank you. Okay. So now you're focused on how you feel and the thoughts, right? So you're no longer focused so much on the issue, even though the issue is going to happen. No matter how you're feeling, so what's going to make it hard is because you're not taking the steps to calm everything down and to cope with how you're responding and what you're going to do, and you're focused now on how you feel, okay, that becomes the issue. And what happens is it becomes a vicious cycle, because as you're feeling these feelings, okay, so getting news, I use it just in case you're just coming on. I use the example of a husband coming home saying, "Hey, I want a divorce now." So as you're focused on this news that you just got, okay, and you're focused now on how you feel and how that's making you feel. My heart is racing. I don't feel good. My stomach. You can't breathe. You feel dizzy. You're gonna pass out. You just don't care for how you feel, the thoughts that are going through your mind. You see all kinds of visions in your head. And, between the thoughts, the visions, the feelings, you just, the way you're talking to yourself now, you're being very negative. Maybe you're bringing yourself down because why does my husband want to divorce me? All of this, is also telling the mind, the vagus nerve, the mind, that there's something wrong. So as you continue with this negativity, this attitude, being focused on how you feel and the thoughts going through your head, it's picking up on it. It's like a vicious cycle. So your response to what you're experiencing, okay, you're constantly being triggered. That fight and flight is constantly going off. And as it repeats and it goes off and it goes off, it's just a vicious cycle. And that's what makes anxiety so hard to overcome. Now, you might say, well, I do have tools. Like, I felt anxiety and I did some breathing. Okay. Or I did some visualization, or I worked out, or whatever. It was a temporary relief and it all came back. Okay. Well, see, the thing is, okay, when something happens over and over and over again, it depends on how long has this been going on? For some of you, it's only been going on a couple months. For others, it's been years, decades. Okay. You have to remember our body, we have memory. Our cells have memory. When something happens often enough, okay, our cells have memory. We remember how we reacted to something, to a certain something. So this becomes our reaction now. So anything that has to deal with, let's say, a divorce, or that has to deal with, just going to my reaction to my this is scenario that I was saying, or anything to deal with, like, what am I going to do with my life now? I'm going to be alone, or, things that are going through your head. Those could be triggers. Okay. So you may watch a movie now where there's a divorce couple, or someone asked for a divorce, or somebody cheated, or somebody, and this could be a trigger. It doesn't take much. Okay. And what this will do is this will get the fight and flight going. And when the fight and flight goes, okay, well, any thought that you give, like if you were to watch a movie and you saw a husband cheating on a wife in the movie, okay, and that's something that maybe happened to you, or let's say, and for those of you coming on, I see more coming on. I'm talking about an example that I gave. A husband came home and asked for a divorce, and this triggered anxiety. So I'm saying, if you watched a movie, and in the movie, let's say there was cheating going on, or something that, wrecked the marriage or whatever, that could be a trigger. So what that does is, you're in your mind, you're going, oh boy, you're right away, the vagus nerve gets triggered. And again, oh, she's upset. Oh, she doesn't like this. And this is going to create more chemicals being secreted. Anything triggering is going to create more chemicals being triggered, and it becomes a vicious cycle. So what becomes necessary, because what happens is you stay stuck in this fight and flight. If it happens often enough, because of the memory we have, it becomes our reaction, and we stay stuck. So what you need to do is figure out ways, how do we calm the vagus nerve? right? How do we get out of that fight and flight response? So it becomes necessary to learn ways to calm the central nervous system and think to think differently, to react differently to the stress in our life. How do we do that? Negative thoughts, what happens is because we're emotional, we make interpretations. And sometimes our interpretations are, because we're thinking with an emotional mind, if we had a more of a logical mind, we would interpret the same situation differently. But because we're thinking with an emotional mind, we make different interpretations, if that makes sense. So this is why it's so important to figure out ways to calm everything down. How do we calm the thoughts in our minds? How do we calm our bodies? How do we get the mind-body connection to work together to understand, okay, to that we are not being chased by a lion, that we're okay, that we can react differently now to the stress in our life, to our situations. We don't need to stay in this hypervigilant state to all these symptoms and these thoughts that go through our heads. Ladies, as you come on and you hear me, you need any clarification. And if you come on late, there's always the replay so that you understand what it is I'm talking about. So we're talking about what makes anxiety hard to overcome. Because it is a new year. A lot of you are going to make that resolution. I'm going to overcome anxiety. And then by February, a lot of you try things, but it becomes hard and you just stop. So why do things become hard? One thing I talked about was mindset. Mindset makes it hard, and it becomes necessary to change your mindset. And another thing that makes it hard, is having that lack of awareness of what anxiety is, and how anxiety, will make you struggle if you don't understand why you have it. So I just went through why anxiety, keeps you in that fight and flight, in that anxiety cycle. So if you're coming on late, watch the replay so you can hear what I said about that for sure. So you lack awareness, you stay stuck in the survival mode. So you need to relax and you need to change the response to the stress that's in your life. I mean, stress is inevitable, ladies. There's always going to be some form of stress. We have little stress and we have major stress in our life, okay? But how you react to the stress, your stress response, all right? We're moms, we worry, but anxiety is you're beyond worry, okay? It's more than worry. Anxiety takes over your life. You have avoidance behavior with anxiety, but with worry, you don't necessarily avoid. With worry, it actually puts you to action. But anxiety will take away your life. I mean, you avoid things, and it keeps you from living life the way that you start missing out on things because you start isolating and not being who you want to be, right? So, so what's necessary too is to kind of overcome that is your lifestyle. Get your sleeping in order. Getting good sleep is so helpful. And also, exercise. I can't say enough about the benefits of exercise. And if you haven't started an exercise regimen, possibly make that one of the things you do in the new year. Exercise is fantastic for anxiety, for depression, for getting better sleep. And what are you eating? What are you putting in your body? I always talk about the thoughts that are in your mind, but also we have to be really aware of what we're putting in our body. Less sugar, ladies, more protein and healthy fats. What we eat also has a lot to say about, hormones and, and also neurotransmitters and what's being secreted, having better focus and having more energy. So what makes anxiety hard? As you're coming on, say hi. And as you're coming on, please know we're talking about what makes anxiety hard to overcome it. What makes it hard is basically what we talked about already, is not having the right mindset, or the right attitude about it. And also the lack of awareness. You're stuck in survival mode, and the fight and flight is always going, and you need to come out of the fight and flight. So, what is necessary? Well, actually, there's other things. I thought about something else. The other thing that makes it hard, and a lot of you I find have this problem, you don't have the support. I've heard a lot of you say you don't have much support. And science does say support is a major success for hanging in there and overcoming just about anything. When you lack support, you feel very alone in the process. So having good support, and I know it's hard because our loved ones, if they've never been through this, they don't understand, and they'll say things to you that are very unhelpful, right? Things like, just get over it, because we could do that. We could just get over it, right? Or think of something else. Stop thinking about that. Think of something else. Or just take that pill. I mean, there's pills for that. Just take the pill and you'll be fine. Or our loved ones don't understand, really. So a lot of us, we feel we don't have the right support. And even like our best friends, our husbands, the people that are so close to us, we want them to support us, but they just don't know what to say to us. They don't know what to do. They're trying to fix us. If they love you, they're trying to fix you. And the thing is, you don't need fixing. That's not what you need. Ladies, a lot of you think you're broken. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. What needs to be done is that you're stuck in a cycle. You lack awareness, and you need to build your awareness, understand what anxiety is, and get yourself out of this cycle. And I explained it before, how this cycle stays. And it stays because you're constantly, with your thoughts and how you're reacting, constantly, making the mind and the body think it has to help you survive whatever it is. And a lot of you will say, well, anxiety comes on for no reason. I'm not even being triggered. There's nothing happening. My life is great. But see, the thing is, the thing that triggered you could have passed. Yeah, it could have passed. The thing that triggered you could have happened months or even years ago. But the thing is, if you don't change anything, okay, you keep reacting to stress the same way you always did. You haven't changed anything. You're always going to get what you always got. You're stuck. You're in this cycle. You're in that fight and freeze. Fight, flight, and freeze. I always say the fight and flight, but freeze is part of it too. Freeze is like, let's say procrastination. Procrastination is freezing up. That's the brain protecting you, kind of saying like, this is too much for you. And we're going to just, hang out and stay on our phone when we know we have other things to do, because it's just overwhelming. So procrastination is a form of the fight and flight. It's freezing. So lack of awareness, staying stuck in the survival mode. So what can we do? Well, the thing is, the reason why we are also finding it hard is, I talked about this 2, 3 weeks ago. I can't remember the name of the live though. I don't know why. I think it was the steps to overcome anxiety. I did a couple weeks ago, and I talked about how you need to make the decision. Okay, it's a decision you need to make to overcome anxiety. You really have to make a decision. Okay, but the thing is, you have to commit yourself. If you didn't make the decision, I mean, it's easy to say, "Yep, I'm going to overcome anxiety," but saying and doing are not the same thing. Okay. You need to do more than just say something. You need to do it. Okay. Making the decision is more than just, I'm going to do it. It's like, what are you going to do it? Okay. So you need to commit. And that's why a lot of resolutions don't work, because people made the decision, oh, I'm going to lose weight. Yeah, I'm going to exercise. New year, new me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to overcome anxiety. You made the decision, but did you commit to it? Because when you commit, okay, and this is what makes the difference. Commitment means that you are willing to make yourself uncomfortable, okay, and to do whatever you need to do, whatever it takes to overcome, because it requires change. It requires change. Change is uncomfortable, right? A lot of us don't want to change. Change is uncomfortable, but you're already uncomfortable. You're already so uncomfortable. So, to make yourself a little more uncomfortable, and it may be, you don't have to be more uncomfortable. Like sometimes you're at the point where you hit rock bottom. Something's got to change. You how much more pain can you take? So make the commitment. I'm going to do whatever it takes, because I'm just I'm there. It's time. A lot of people don't go on with resolutions, or don't go on with what needs to be done. Sorry, what needs to get done to overcome anxiety, because they have not committed themselves. You just have not made that commitment. Because when things get hard, when anxiety gets hard, when things get hard, you just stop. It's too hard. But a lack of commitment is a big reason why people don't follow through, and what makes overcoming anxiety hard. And the other thing is a loss of motivation. Because let's say, you did things to overcome anxiety, you did things like breathing, meditation, whatnot. But then you did it for a good 2-3 weeks, and then you were like, I don't know, you just lost all your motivation. Like it became, you got sick of doing it. All of a sudden, like it was not something that you wanted to do anymore. So not only did you lack commitment, but you lost your motivation. So when you don't have the commitment, the motivation, and especially the support, it's very easy to just stop trying. Just stop trying. And that's why people don't keep up with resolutions. And that's why if you made the resolution, I'm going to overcome anxiety, and I'm going to start right now. And then February comes and you still haven't either gotten started, or you stopped trying. All these things that I just said could be the reason why. So if you're just coming on, ladies, make sure you watch the replay, because I listed some really good things. But those who overcome anxiety, those who keep resolutions, okay, those are people who stay committed. They don't mind being uncomfortable and making changes, because they've already felt the pain, and there's no way they're staying where they were. And they stay motivated. Why? Because they do something, and this is what I work with clients, is What keeps you motivated? And ladies, I did a whole live training about motivation, so I'm not going to give a whole training on that right now. But if you want more on motivation, go to the guides section, and I have a whole thing about motivation. But motivation, what really keeps somebody motivated, okay, is having a why. In other words, have you ever heard about, and this is just something that is just an example. You know, when soldiers go to war and they take photographs of their loved ones with them, and they survive the war and say, the reason why I survived this war, the thing that got me through the war was you, having a photograph of you and always looking at the photograph. Well, this is motivation. And this is what I'm talking about, having a why. So when I work with a client in my signature program, we work to understand your whys. Why is this important to you? Why do you need to make changes, and what those changes are going to do for you? And what's going to happen if you don't make a change? What are your whys? So that, because we know that making change is hard, right? So we know that as you work to make changes, you're going to be times where you're going to be like starting to sabotage yourself with your thoughts. This is hard. I can't do this. So you have to start thinking of your whys. Why do I want to do this? What do I get from this? How is this going to turn my life around? Knowing your whys, understanding what makes you tick, what makes you get up and go. This is what's going to give you the motivation and help you stay committed. So what's going to help you and not make anxiety hard and to keep you committed and motivated is understanding your whys. So the best time to start is always as soon as you can. But the thing is, if you don't feel you could commit, it's going to be, until you are able to really commit to doing what it takes to overcome anxiety, you're not going to get the results that you really, really want, unfortunately. So, commit, dig your heels in. Just dig those heels in and stay motivated. Motivation comes in the doing. You cannot wait until you feel motivated. Okay. That's like the procrastination that I talked about a little bit earlier. Okay. It's part of the fight, flight, and freeze. Okay. When we feel overwhelmed, our brain is overwhelmed with things. Like you have 20 things going on, but yet you're sitting on the couch flipping through your phone, right? That's procrastination, right? But that's also your brain going, okay, we have 20 things to do, but it's too much. So why don't we just sit here and take a break on our phone? When you know you need to get going, you need to get doing, right? So like I said, the mind and body are always working to help you survive, to protect you. Although you don't feel protected, you feel like it's working against you. You feel so broken, right? You feel like you need to fix things. But the thing is, a lot of times, constantly fixing, and fixing. I need to fix this. And then we research, I need to fix this. And it could work against us. We're always trying to do the next best thing. And because we're always trying, see, the thing is, the more you try, the more we fix, and then and it doesn't work, and then we're disappointed. We're actually keeping ourselves in the cycle. Why? Because we're telling the vagus nerve, the mind, this isn't working. I'm trying, and this isn't working, and this didn't work. But the thing is, a lot of these things do work, ladies. They really do. It's just, how are you implementing them? Are you implementing them the right way? Are you doing it long enough? Are you being patient and giving yourself grace? Are you trusting? There's so much that goes into this. This is why the right support is needed, okay? You want success, the right support is needed. And science does say those who have good support are the ones who have a lot of success and not just overcoming anxiety, but with whatever your resolution is. You're trying to lose weight. That's why accountability is good. Exercise, getting an accountability partner. Even with anxiety. I mean, this is why I formed the group, ladies, because yeah, I'm an anxiety coach, and I'm going to support you and give you accountability. But this is why it's necessary to go in the group sometimes and talk to the other women, and say, hey, this is what I'm doing and it's not working. What are you doing? And is it working for you? And if it is, how do I need to do it differently? I mean, I can tell you that by working with you, or you could go in the group and ask others. It's fine. The other thing is, believe it or not, okay, the other thing that makes anxiety hard, okay, is understanding setbacks, okay? And now setbacks, in order to have a setback, you need to understand that you had progress, you did well, you were cruising along, and then all of a sudden you woke up one day and there was the anxiety again. You have to understand what a setback is. And I mean, when I work with you, I give you a full training on that. And I did do a live training on setbacks if you want to check that out. But a setback just means you hit a bump in the road on your way to having success. But sometimes those setbacks, if you don't understand what they are, can take you a little bit too far back. And they can be very hard to overcome. But when you're committed and you have motivation, okay, successful people, okay, another way of having a lot of progress is to be able to overcome setbacks, because people who overcome setbacks or slip-ups, whatever, you want to call them, I hate the word slip-ups because to me, it's not making a mistake, okay? A setback is just basically, life is rough. Things happen and life gets tough, and we're human beings. We're not always good at giving ourselves grace. And again, I did a live training on that. So if you want to understand how to do that more, give yourself grace, please seek that out. But you need to give yourself grace. You need to have more patience. You need to have more trust. And if we're not doing that, setbacks are something that can happen because we're not always working in full strength if we're not trusting. So having a setback and bouncing back from it is building resilience. And why is resilience so important? Because, I mean, the definition of resilience basically is bouncing back from stress. It's how you bounce back from stress. So if you're somebody who's had a lot of stress in your life, and then that stress just led to your anxiety, you didn't have a lot of resilience. You weren't being resilient. I didn't have a lot of resilience, for sure. I built my resilience. My resilience came as I worked to overcome anxiety, as I worked to deal with the stress in my life, as I learned the tools and strategies and built up I changed my mindset, and and I guess worked with my calming down, the retraining my mind, basically, that when I am stressed, I don't have to react in that way of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to cope? How am I going to deal with this? It's how you talk to yourself. So who has success? I'll say it again. People who are committed, people who stay motivated, people who have support, and people who've had setbacks and let those setbacks, okay, be stepping stones to success and build confidence and resilience. And what makes anxiety hard? What makes anxiety hard? And I'll just list what I said, because some of you came on late. I'm just going to read out the basic things. What makes anxiety hard is just the mindset, the the thoughts and the thinking that you have, the beliefs that you hold, and making a change there. It's your lack of awareness, not understanding the anxiety cycle, not understanding what anxiety is and why you struggle with it, and how you stay stuck in the fight and flight and how to get yourself out of it. You're stuck in survival mode. It's the lack of commitment. You desire to overcome anxiety, like you really want it. You've made the decision, I'm going to do it, but something's missing. You're not doing it. Like, you say you're going to do it, but you're not. You didn't really commit yourself, and you don't lack the motivation. You're waiting until you feel better, because maybe anxiety, you can't focus. You don't have the strength, because anxiety takes away, it takes away our mojo. That's the word I use. We don't have the mojo to do it. I can't. I don't have the energy. But if you wait until you feel better, it doesn't sound right? Like, you can't wait till you feel better. The feeling better comes in the doing. When you see you can do it. All of a sudden, it got so dark in here. Wow. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, all of a sudden I feel like a shadow came over me. So anyway, lack of support, and that's hard to do with your friends and family. They don't understand what you're going through, and that's why I have the group, but that's why you have me. And hopefully, if you're working with other professionals, they're giving you tons of support. And not understanding what setbacks are, having a setback and letting the setback throw you all the way back, and not being able to bounce back from it. That all those things, will either make anxiety hard, and doing the opposite of all things and understanding, what all those things are and how to bounce back from all that will give you great success. So ladies, I think that's it. I'm just looking at my notes, making sure I said it all, and I think I did. So I hope you have a great understanding now of what makes overcoming anxiety hard, and how maybe you can correct that and develop the right mindset, the right attitude, and help, get committed and find the right support and accountability, and really, gain a lot of awareness. And ladies, if you really need help, please reach out. Anxiety definitely can be hard. And if you really do need help with any of this, I do have programs where I could work with you to really help you gain that awareness. And I give you superb support. I really give a lot of support. And I help you to really understand anxiety, and change that mindset. And we're going to help you, get through 2025 so you don't enter 2026 exactly where you are now. Let this be the year you're going to do it. It's going to happen, all right? Let's not give anxiety any more of our life. Are there any questions? Anybody have any questions about anything that I said? And like I said, if you came on late, just watch the replay. And if there are no questions, let me just scroll. No, I don't see any questions. Just give it a second, just in case there's a delay. But if you have any questions about why overcoming anxiety could be so hard and what to do, put it in the comments, or you can message me later. No, I don't see any questions. No questions, ladies? Okay, that's fine. Otherwise, I hope everything that I said was made sense to you. Otherwise, message me and, ask me if you need any clarification, especially if you're watching the replay. Always ask me for clarification if you need it. But ladies, Happy New Year to everybody. And I'm praying for you all always. I always pray for you. So happy New Year. And I hope, hi Carol, please watch the replay, Carol. I'm about to get off, but thank you for coming on anyway. But happy New Year, and I'm wishing all of you lots of peace. 2025 is going to be your year. All right. Be well, take care, reach out anytime. All right, take care, everybody.